there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking Love and Marriage Huntsville. You guys know why you were here. Today we're talking about how we have lost the plot, you guys. How people have fell for the trap. They have taken the bait. They have been, bamboozled, led astray, hoodwinked, and everything, you guys. Because we're no longer talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, you guys. This is supposed to be a video about Love and Marriage Huntsville, but it really is not a video about Love and Marriage Huntsville, right? So there's a lot that I want to discuss here in this space, because I feel as though the plot that the Scots have been trying to infiltrate the Millimeters, the Melody Cherie fan base, any type of content creator that has said positive things about Melody Cherie at one point or another. I feel like this was always the plot to divide and conquer, and even the threat of bloggers was about a divide and conquer strategy, because no matter the attempts that other cast members have tried to cause division, cause chaos, cause drama, cause discord amongst the channels that support Melody Cherie, the one thing that has remained consistent is the support for Melody Cherie when it was all said and done. Already there are items that I wanted to purchase on the J Bolin collaboration that dropped this morning that is sold out, you guys. Already, the merch for Millimeter Standing on Business is doing well. Already, as we know, 7th Avenue is doing amazing. So amazing that Melody Cherie is doing giveaways left and right, whether it is for money or for Louis Vuitton items, right? Or her property management class, those of you who have been successful with that. Or her music dropping. She had a Christmas song that came out recently, right? Melody Cherie is winning. Whether you like Melody Cherie or not, you cannot deny that Melody Cherie is winning. And unfortunately, when you are winning, people want to take you down. And unfortunately, there are people who pretend to be for you who are not really for you, you guys. And this was something I saw directly similar that happened to another reality show that I talk about, which is Love Island. Basically, long story short, there was this popular black couple that people didn't like for stupid reasons, and because of their own preconceived notions and stereotypes and their own projections. So they decided that if they continued to troll and lie about this couple, even though the show ended almost 5 months ago, that they could gain all this traction, right? That they can gain all this attention, right? And so they would say out lies that there was breakup rumors, that there were all of these things that were taking place because they did what some of the content creators have done, right? And this isn't calling anybody out in particular, but this was the strategy, right? There was somebody in the show that they supported that did not have the fan base, the same level of fan base as the star, in this instance, Melody Cherie. But they needed a way, if they wanted to start a YouTube channel, if they wanted to start a podcast, they needed a way to get followers. And they did some research and saw the people who discuss Melody Cherie the most, the people who are Millimeters, or who always, for the most part, say positive things about Melody Cherie, they have a lot of subscribers. They have a lot of views on their channel whenever they talk about Melody Cherie. So maybe if I follow that blueprint, I can have the same success. And hey, I might even surpass their followers, right? But then what I'm going to do at some point, because I'm in cahoots with other cast members who do not like Melody Cherie, and I've had them on my platform multiple times, right? I'm going to switch up at some point. I'm going to switch up at some point, because once I build my following, once I do enough lives, once I get enough of your super chats, I'm going to switch up and push my real agenda. And that is what has happened, unfortunately, for some of you. Is some of you fell for the trap. Some of you knew that there were certain red flags with certain people, with certain individuals that you found suspect, but there was something in you that said, you know what? I still need to keep supporting. Even though they are cutting people off who talk positively about Melody Cherie, even though this person or people or some of these other people are trying to set things up as if Melody Cherie is the issue, even though they're supposed to be a Melody Cherie fan or a Melometer, right? Something is still driving you to support them, even though you see things that are suspect, you guys, right? And so then, unfortunately, what happens with this is when you continue to enable certain things that you know something is not right, something is not adding up, eventually it all comes ahead. Eventually, everything blows up in smoke because you cannot pretend to like somebody forever, right? You can't pretend to be a fan of somebody forever because your true views will always come out, you guys. There's a difference between supporting somebody and holding them accountable for something that you didn't like that they said or did. And then there's another approach of pretending to actually be a fan. Personally trying to contact Melody Cherie and her team and all these things, right? And making it seem like you're really one of her ride or dies. Only to flip the script either when A, you don't get your way, or B, when you're trying to prop up somebody else that you want to be the star of the show, or C, you are in on the plot yourself with the other cast members to try to take down Melody Cherie a notch, right? And so then finally it gets to a point of no return, right? And Melody Cherie has to be the one to say, hey, I've kept my, silence long enough. Here's X, Y, and Z of what happened, right? But then there are other people who like the mess, who are in mess themselves. Make it make sense, you guys. Stormy should have all of the smoke right now for the shots that Letitia and her mom are taking against her on social media. And for whatever reason, Stormy decided, you know what? It is no big deal that they plagiarized my information. It is no big deal that potential customers are going to be confused as to why my Canvas Girl Beauty shipment information and contact details are on Letitia's website for her kids' hair care line. Let me get into the mess because somebody else has beef with Melody Cherie, right? And that should tell you everything that you guys need to know about what this really is about. And like I said, it is about divide and conquer, causing chaos, finding ways to take down Melody Cherie supporters, trying to find ways, instead of us talking about the show, instead of us talking about what Melody Cherie is going on, or heck, even what the other cast members have going on, we're talking about beef instead. We are talking about who likes who doesn't like who is trying to expose who's obsessed with who is allegedly trying to dox who, right? We are completely far away from the intent of the actual channel. We are completely far away from the intent of the engagement with your supporters and with fans. For people who go live, now there's infighting amongst certain fans of who's saying what on whose platform, or who's doing what on whose platform. You guys notice I have never gone live? Do you guys notice that? I have not once ever gone live. And that is by design, right? Because number one, I didn't have time to in the first place. But number two, I've seen how sometimes these lives can go in a completely different direction. Right? And if things get out of control or people are utilizing it to be reckless about other people, that's when all types of things can go left, you guys. And I don't know about you guys, but I care about my mental health, which is why I have yet to really do a full breakdown on the alleged beef between Melody Cherie versus the content creator, because I don't know if you've noticed, I've been taking some breaks from here myself to protect my own mental health, you guys, right? But if we're not going to focus in on what is important, which is when our voices are heard, when we are all together on the same accord, we make a difference, right? When we all banded together for those petitions to get Letitia's mom off the show, guess who's no longer on the show? When we banded together to say, hey, we're going to black out and we're not going to watch the show if Melody Cherie is going to continue to be ganged up on by her cast members, what happened to the ratings? Right? And what happened recently before the second half of season 6 started, to where Carlos King was playing nice with Melody Cherie and calling Melody Cherie the star of the show again, right? All of this is tactical, you guys. All of this is happening for a reason, you guys. And people who are saying Melody Cherie should leave her own show, make it make sense, you guys. I get it that there were times that things went too far, but the other side of it is removing the people that are causing the issues to go too far. And there clearly is some other type of change, because there's been a significant decrease in the exposure and appearance of the Scotts and Martell, and we have gotten a lot more of the Fletchers and really Tiffany and Lou up until recently, right? And of course Stormy and her husband, right? You're starting to see the shift, and even Kiki, right? We're starting to see the shift of who's getting the exposure and who isn't. And this started, like I said in a previous video, with Maurice's Funky Dineva Awards, right? Where he was specifically singling out specific content creators that he felt most had a similar approach to their discussions on Love and Marriage Huntsville as Funky Dineva, right? But then there was also a vested interest, because there were certain people that he chose that he felt that he could utilize that could be to his benefit, right? And that if you were 10 toes down for Melody Cherie or what have you, 9 times out of 10, you probably weren't going to be on that list. Or if you've ever called out the Scotts or see through the Scotts and see through the agenda, you likely weren't going to be on that list. But nonetheless, whoever was nominated, whoever won, it still caused chaos, you guys. That was the first step of the plan, to infiltrate certain channels, certain content creators, and cause a division, right? And that was when you saw Letitia's mom and other cast members going on certain people, specific people's pages, personally calling them, and going on their platforms and spreading, oh, the millimeters are dividing, the millimeters, you guys got to run up the millimeter chain and blah, 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 blah. That was all planned, you guys. It was all planned to cause chaos. And some of you fell for the trap. Even those of you who pretended to support Melody Cherie, you still fell for the trap, because ultimately you're in mess. And the one thing that I will agree with Maurice on, when he was threatening bloggers, the other week or whatever, the one thing I will agree with him on is that, unfortunately, there are some people who have not been able to separate the reality show from the reality. And that is why we are here, right? Because when people get too close and people do things that are too far, that go beyond the show, these are the consequences that take place. Because now it's not just an issue with Melody Cherie and a blogger, but unfortunately there are people who want to take each other out. There are unfortunately people who are in their feelings for whatever reason that feel that they need certain people out the way for them to continue to be successful, instead of relying on what made them successful in the first place and continuing on that path and making positive changes if something isn't working, but not trying to take down other people as a result to lift themselves up. And that is the problem, you guys. Love and Marriage Huntsville is entertaining, don't get me wrong, and we've talked at length at how far away from the show that we are, of what the original intent of the show was, which is 3 black couples that were entrepreneurs that were supposed to be building housing to get back to the black community in Huntsville, Alabama, and supposed to show the inner workings of how they work as entrepreneurs and how they navigate their married life and family life. We don't talk about that anymore, you guys. It is all about the drama. It is all about who likes who doesn't like who has beef with who. And that has now spilled into these YouTube streets, you guys. And you know, I don't care whether or not people agree or disagree, right? But there's a way to be respectful about it, right? I'm not always going to say things that you may like or that you may agree with. But at the same token, it's my opinion, right? But there's a healthy way to have these conversations, you guys. There's a healthy way to have these discussions. And unfortunately, jealousy, greed, all of these negative things have clouded the judgment of certain individuals that it is now ruining it for everyone, right? Because guess what? If we're not talking about the show anymore, what are we talking about? Right? And how many times does there have to be beef out here before people put two and two together that some things are not adding up, some things are not right? If everything associated with something is always chaos, is always drama, why do you think that is? Right? And this isn't an attack on anybody. This isn't personal against anybody. Like I said, I don't know these people. I'm not trying to infiltrate myself with anybody's team or whatever. There are people I've talked to. There are, you know, reality stars, celebrities I've talked to. But it's not relevant for me to discuss it here. For what? What, to brag or to have clout? I don't care about any of that. As you guys can see, I don't care about any of that stuff. Right? I don't care about all of that, right? I just want to stay true to myself and stay true to this platform. I'm only here because of you guys. This started out as a hobby. You guys wanted this full time, right? I'm only here because of you. I only go as far as you guys go, right? If you continue to support, I continue to provide you content, right? But then if you don't support, then I can kind of pull back, right? So it's kind of like a mutually beneficial relationship if we're on the same page with each other, right? But what we're not going to do is use this platform to tear down other people, right? Because everybody can eat, everybody can make money, everyone can have a seat at the table like I previously stated, right? But unfortunately, people continue to fall for the trap. They continue to fall for the plot. And instead of us discussing the show, I wanted to come on and talk about the ratings finally. Or talk about some clips that have dropped in preparation for tomorrow's episode. But instead, you know, and I still technically haven't discussed the issue with Melody Shree and the blogger. If you absolutely want me to, I will. But I'm saying overall, the plot has been lost. And people are allowing the plot from the Scotts and Letitia's mom to win. Because they've decided that they're going to stalk everybody's social media and stalk all of the YouTubers / content creators to see who is saying things about them that are positive, who is dragging them, and then they choose to infiltrate certain people that they feel are vulnerable to turn on Mel. And then they strike, right? But instead of people being upset with those cast members and being upset with the people who set them up to take the bait, they've also lost the plot as well. They don't realize that they've been taken advantage of as well and that they've been manipulated. Now, there's some who have actively know what they're doing. They actively know that they do not like Melody Shree and they're never going to like Melody Shree. But there are some people who presented themselves like a Melody Shree fan and got. Right? The moment that it was exposed, all the shenanigans that they were doing. And that's not what the intent of this was. And I know, and I get it. Some people are like, this is more entertaining than the show. This is more entertaining than what Carlos King is putting out there. Right? But ultimately, what is the cost? What is your mental health going to be at the end of this? Right? And that's the piece that people don't think about, right? I don't want anybody sending hate to anybody. I don't want anybody, you know, saying anything negative to anybody. That's not what this is about. It is about we've lost the plot. And we're no longer discussing the show, which to the benefit of the Scotts and even Stormy and her husband is what they want. Because if we talk about the show, we basically have to talk about how the show is not entertaining without Melody Cherie. And then we have to talk about how her cast members are continuing to be messy and throwing little digs at Melody Cherie for the most minuscule things. Right? And then we have to talk about how people like Stormy and Letitia's mom do not have the same smoke for each other that they have for Melody Cherie. And are even willing to involve themselves in YouTube beef if it is anti-Melody Cherie instead of addressing the plagiarism issue. That shows you how deep-rooted the hate for Melody Cherie truly is, you guys. That they're willing to put off a serious allegation, serious crimes, serious things that they have done to each other to band together against Melody Cherie in hopes that this could be finally the time that they can take down Melody Cherie. And Melody Cherie said, slay my name. You're going to continue to talk about me? Slay my name when you do it. And that is why we are here, you guys. But we have to continue to stay focused. And unfortunately, some people have veered off and have lost focus. But if we can still come back, we can still come back and stay focused on the objective, right? Like I said, when we work together, we're successful. When we work together on these petitions and we call out the nonsense on the show, we call out the nonsense that some of the instigating that some cast members like to do on social media, when we're all on one accord on that, we make an impact. And so that is why some of you are being used directly, because they know you can make an impact. But they're specifically targeting people who they know are going to be vulnerable or who they know are going to respond. And that is why we are here, you guys. That is why we are here. So there is that. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.